Hi everyone, it's Laura and I hope you're all doing well. So for those of y'all who are new to my channel, I'm a registered dietitian and I'm all about helping you live a healthy life. So today I wanted to give y'all some tips for how to stop starving yourself. I want to help y'all get out of that mindset of losing weight equals starvation. And so here are my tips to do so. So my first tip is to change how you view food. So viewing food as your friend, as something that nourishes you and that gives you energy, not viewing food as the enemy or something that you have to do or something that makes you feel guilty or evokes all these negative emotions. Food is meant to provide you with nutrition, to provide you with energy, to help you live a long life, to help keep your organs healthy. And so if you're someone who you have a negative relationship with food, working towards mending that. And if you're struggling with your relationship with food, I encourage you to start journaling. That's the number one tip for people that don't have a healthy relationship with food, is start writing it out. And there's something extremely powerful about putting pen to paper, because more comes out on paper than you realize is going on in your head. We may be thinking things, but until we actually see it on paper, we're like, wow, like I view food as a reward, or wow, I view cookies as a reward for being good, or I view unhealthy processed foods as something that makes me happy. And it's amazing how once you start writing it down, you recognize those things. And in recognizing them, that's the first step to changing them. My next tip is to shy away from calorie counting, from keeping track of every little thing you consume, from yo-yo dieting, because health and nutrition is a lifestyle. It's something that lasts your entire life. And so understanding that when you're choosing to make healthy decisions, analyzing whether or not this is something that you can do for the majority of your life, for the rest of your life, for the majority of the time. Because if it's not sustainable, if it's something that you can't wake up and do every single day, then that's not the right plan for you, and that's okay. What works for one person may not work for you, and there is going to be some trial and error in figuring out what works for you, but I strongly encourage you to focus more on nutrient-dense foods and less on calories, and less on the percent of fat, the percent of carbs, the percent of protein, and focus more on, is this food going to nourish my body? And focusing on the types of foods you're consuming instead of the amount of calories they have. Because once you start listening to your body and understanding that, oh, my body really responds well when in the morning I wake up and I have a smoothie. It gives me energy throughout the entire morning. When you start making those connections and when you start recognizing them, then that's when you start to understand that starving isn't what makes you feel good. Starving isn't what helps you lose weight. In reality, starving yourself does the opposite. Starving lowers your metabolism. Starving yourself makes you moody. It doesn't make you a happy person at all. My next tip is to eat whole foods. Eat foods that you know where they came from and you know what they are. Not foods that have an ingredients list this long and that are just jam-packed with chemicals and preservatives and additives and stuff that you don't even know what the heck it is. And when focusing on whole foods, you'll start to realize which foods sit well with you, which foods you're able to digest quicker, which foods that don't just like sit in your stomach. When you get away from the chemicals and the processed junk, you'll realize that your digestion is smoother, that you have more energy, that you want to go exercise, that you have the energy to go hang out with friends, that you're happier, that your mood is better, that it's easier to get out of bed in the morning, that you don't drag the first 2 hours of the day until your coffee kicks in. So I encourage you to eat whole foods. So things like fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, nuts and seeds, whole grains. There are so many grains out there that are insanely delicious. It's not just rice and quinoa, I promise. There's a whole plethora of grains out there like amaranth, there's millet, there's couscous. Oh, couscous is so good. So I encourage you to eat whole foods and try and stay away from the processed foods. My last and final tip, which I think is the most important, is to understand that you deserve good health and that you deserve happiness and that you deserve to feel good about yourself, to have confidence in your body, to have a healthy body image. And when you understand that, and when you accept that, and when you make that a priority, then that's when health and nutrition and good foods also becomes a priority. Anything in life, I firmly believe, starts with love. And a big part of that is self-love. And so in order to have the desire to treat your body well, to provide your body with nutrition, to exercise, there has to be a component of loving yourself that is there from the beginning. Because my motivation to continue on this journey of health, to continue to be plant-based, to continue to exercise, has a lot to do with me caring about myself, me wanting to be the healthiest version of myself as possible. And if you're someone who you don't have that self-love, recognizing you deserve it. Everyone deserves to love themselves. And if you're someone who you don't, then please take steps to learn to do so. Whether it's confiding in a friend or starting to journal or starting to meditate or pray to better understand, why is it that I don't love myself? What is it about myself that I don't love? And how can I rectify that? How can I start to love myself and take the steps to do so? So I hope these tips helped y'all out. If you have additional suggestions for people who are looking to get out of the starvation mode and start focusing on health and nutrition and whole foods, then please leave them below. Also, if you're interested in a plant-based lifestyle, I'll leave a link to my book below. It contains 7 days worth of meal plans with 21 recipes. So I'll leave a link for that below. Also, I'm available for one-on-one counseling. If you need an extra push, if you need that accountability, if you need someone to be there to support you, then I will be that person. I'll leave a link for that below as well. And I hope y'all are all doing well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.